United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030. The very purpose behind shifting from Millennium Development Goals MDGs to SDGs, everyone is aware of, and maybe in next 2 days much more elaborations will happen on why Sustainable Development Goals and which important areas have been included while we migrated from MDGs to SDGs. While there are 17 SDGs, all those 17 SDGs are being built on the success of MDGs, of course, which we could achieve. Some of them partially, some of them better than the other ones. Today, academic elaborations will happen by the very much resourceful resource persons, I will say. But today I am going to give you a perspective from the field, the cutting edge service delivery, that's what we say. Academic inputs will definitely have influence on the policy making, but ultimately the policies which are made need to be executed and the plans and projects need to be implemented which are responsive and outcome oriented. That is why the stakeholders who have come here, they are extremely relevant in this sense. Because the moment we say poverty alleviation is the first goal, there are hundreds of programs through different departments which are getting implemented with an ultimate aim of reducing the poverty. So the field inputs are extremely crucial, which will have impact on the research that is taking place, and ultimately the research inputs will go into the policy making, and again that will trickle down to the implementation level. That is why this cycle is very important, and I am very happy that the academic events are involving the cutting edge service delivery providers who are essentially the VAOs, the RIs who look after the land, and the BDOs essentially they look after the development work. So it is very relevant that you people are here. Anek VAOs மற்றும் RIs மற்றும் BDOs நீங்கள் அனைவரும் இந்த workshopல கலந்து கொண்டது வந்து ரொம்ப relevant. அதுக்கு காரணமே வந்து நம்ம actually அனைத்து schemes வந்து implement பண்ணும்போது எந்த விதமான சிக்கல்கள் வரும், நம்ம எதற்காக அந்த ஸ்கீம் வச்சிருக்கோம், அந்த ஸ்கீம் whether it is actually serving the purpose, நம்ம எதற்காக அந்த ஸ்கீம் இருக்கிறதோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த வந்து நமக்கு whether we are getting the results அப்படிங்கிற the inputs நீங்க இந்த you have to share those inputs in these 2 days workshop, then definitely there will be some very crucial academic research that will emerge out of this. Today this particular workshop is going to focus not on all SDGs but maybe the mainly 3 SDGs to eradicate poverty, end hunger and gender equality. And they are going to study the access to land and its implications of customary and private land rights for food security as one of the, again, fine-pointed approach. When we say implications of customary and private land rights for food security, it means many, many things. In India, in Tamil Nadu, in Salem in particular, access to land and the average land holding is one of the most important criteria which decides the well-being of the household. How? It may have a direct correlation, it may have an inverse correlation, it may not have any correlation. In some areas where you have, technically you have the land in your name, but still you are not able to actually enjoy the fruits from that. All VAOs, RIs, உங்களால தெரியும். கூட்டப்பட்டாலும் சொல்லுவோம், கூட்டப்பட்டால பேர் இருக்கும், ஆனா அந்த கூட்டப்பட்டால பேர் இருக்கிறதுனால நேச்சுரலியாவே அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அனைத்து வசதிகளும் கிடைக்குது அப்படிங்கிறது சொல்ல முடியுமா? முடியாது. It is, I'm just elaborating for their convenience that having customary or private land right per se will not actually automatically it will not have the food security implied in it. So we need to, while researching, of course you will go into it, I am very sure about it, but it is just a perspective from the field that even though there is private land right available or the customary land right available, then also it may or may not directly imply that the household is having food security. It may have access to food or many other things which are implied in food security. So those things will definitely get elaborated during next 2 days of workshop and the research that will be following. When we say eradicate poverty, it has lot many dimensions in it and the research scholars are already aware of it. Eradication of poverty essentially requires us to define poverty first, and you all know that there are many different opinions and maybe controversies also sometimes as to what defines poverty, and when you call a household is below poverty line, what is the magic figure which sets people either above poverty line or below poverty line. So that is again an area of total research. So it is better to be left to the researchers and to the academicians than us going in it. You fix and we will make sure that the people technically who are below poverty line comes above poverty line. That is our job. But definitely we are going to give you inputs as to how it actually affects and how the customary and the private land rights actually affect the poverty levels as well as the other parameters which come with it like hunger and other things. When we say zero hunger, the next goal that you are aiming at, zero hunger as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, which is one of the most progressive state of India, and this part of Tamil Nadu, which is again one of the most progressive areas of Tamil Nadu, you won't find any hunger as such. Virtually there is no hunger because of extremely progressive policies of state government as well as the central government. We have something called 35 kgs free rice. Like every household gets 35 kgs of free rice despite its BPL or APLness. This is called universal PDS, universal public distribution system, which has direct implication on the hunger part of it, which is virtually not present in our area. At least in Salem district, I can definitely tell that. That is because even in the remotest part of my district, the ration, the public distribution system, the grains, cereals, the oil, the protein, the dal, everything reaches exactly on time and that gets monitored on a real-time basis. And with technological interventions, we are even monitoring whether the household has got the ration of that month with just a click of the mouse. Because the entire public distribution system is automated. So if a household gets the public distribution, the grains of that month, we get to know it through the SMS, the person gets to know it through SMS, and even we get to know that the ration has been taken by the household. So, as such, we don't have any issue in the access to food. There is no hunger, but then the question remains of the nutritional security. Still, not just in Salem, maybe in many parts of our country, many parts of Tamil Nadu, we still have some deficiencies of the vitamins, some deficiency of the iron, of calcium, and many other such related vital vitamins and other things. Anemia is very much prevalent in women, in adolescent girls, and even in children. Anemia, as you know, even though it is only one of the parameters of having nutritional security, it has large implications on many other human development indices like infant mortality rate, on maternal mortality rate, on the nutrition status of the children, and because of that the learning levels of the children. So when I say there are many mothers, the pregnant women who are anemic, rattashome irukkudiya pengal, paalukkum thaimargal, when we have anemia present in the women, we are necessarily have to face the issue of low birth weight. The moment we have low birth weight, we have more number of birth asphyxia cases, The moment we have more number of birth asphyxia cases, we have more infant mortality, many times maternal mortality also. We have been reducing it very largely. Salem district is far, far less than the IMR and the MMR of Salem district is far less than the state average, the national average. We are doing wonderful. But my worry as an administrator, as a woman, is that not a single woman has to face something called death of a child. Till the last child is survived, our effort should not end. That is so when I say nutritional security, it has implications even on multiple factors. So along with zero hunger and along with poverty alleviation, we need to look at the nutritional security part of it, which I am sure you will definitely look at. We have very peculiar characteristics of Salem district, which is maybe many of you may not be knowing that Salem district has highest tribal population in the entire state. Salem district itself derives its name from something called Salem. Salem means hills, Malayalam, mountains. So we are totally surrounded on all sides by the hills, by very lush green extended part of Western Ghats and some of the other hills like Kalrani Hills. There exists our tribal population, and that is a separate area of research, I would say. You need to have a totally separate team to look after all these parameters of hunger, of gender equality, particularly in the tribal area. A very interesting study which was done by Madras Institute of Development Studies, which I shared with Professor Chambu when she had a meeting with me. I was going through that report, which was conducted, the research was conducted last year, 2016-17, and which very interestingly it says, which corroborates what I said earlier. They have done that research in Kalrani Hills, in Pachamalai, in Arunathumalai, in all other hills. The research, the findings of the research, very interesting findings regarding poverty, regarding hunger, I would share with you. The average expenditure of the household on food, whatever is the average, the average expenditure in Kalrani Hills and in other Yerkad Hills and in Shabarayan Hills and Arunathumalai Hills in Salem district was far, far less than what it used to be, what it has to be. That doesn't mean that they are not eating. The expenditure is less, but then there is no hunger, no nutritional issues also. That is because of this 35 kg free rice scheme. They are spending very less on the cereals because they are getting 35 kg rice as free, and consequently they are spending that money on other areas like education. So that was a very interesting finding as to if government steps in, if the policy makers, policy implementers especially, if they are delivering the cutting edge services to the people in a very efficient and responsive way. When I say responsive, efficient there may be a lot of efficiency in the delivery of services, but we need responsive service delivery. Why do I say that? Because in Kalrani Hills, for example, or say in Shabarayan Hills, there are some criteria as to how many households should be there to have a separate PDS shop, public distribution system shop. The efficient system, what it will do, okay, whatever is the criteria, more than 100 households, you can have a separate shop. If there are not more than 100 households, you cannot have a separate shop. So whenever there are more than 100 households, you have a separate shop, and the delivery from that shop is going on efficiently. That is efficient service delivery. But in Salem, we have taken many such initiatives in which, even though it doesn't fall in the so-called criteria, we have made a lot of exceptions and we have brought in a lot of flexibility. For example, there are only 20 households in one of the small tribal hamlets in Shabarayan Hills, which is in Kadamati block, and many other blocks also. There are such very small households. What we did was, even though there are only 20 households, we made sure that the mobile PDS van goes there. So they need not travel 1 kilometer to access the nearest shop, which is efficiently have been allotted to them as per the number of household criteria. So this is what I say when I say the responsive service delivery. So by doing this, the research in outputs which have come, they are actually corroborating all our claims that the hunger thing, the expenditure on food is quite less, and in turn they are spending, I would say, investing that savings on something else which is very important for them, maybe the education of their children. So we need to see all those things during the research as a special focus on the tribal population of Salem district. Third most important thing, gender equality. I'm extremely happy that this entire gathering is totally skewed towards, the men folk. Maximum women are present, and gender equality, in fact, this is skewed towards, men. So we need to have some more men to actually realize the gender equality. So happy for that, but then the root problems still remain, and we need to focus on that. One very basic thing is child sex ratio at birth. CSR we say. Child sex ratio at birth in Salem, unfortunately, is not very encouraging. We are working towards it to improve it. There are some practices which are still present, like female feticide, which may be, are being practiced in some of the areas. So we are, cracking down on those kind of practices to multi-pronged strategy. So it's not just the doctor who is doing the abortion or the scan center which is actually doing the sex-selective abortions. That is not the only thing. We are trying to bring about the behavior change among the people to make sure that they feel proud to have the girl, the baby girl, or to treat a boy and the girl equally. So those things as a multi-pronged strategy we are adopting. But yes, this is an issue which needs to be seen. So gender equality just does not end with in the hall gender equality, and we need to see that gender equality is practiced even before the infant is born, when the infant is removed. So that is the root cause, and then we come towards other issues facing women, facing other issues like dropout from the school and child marriage after that. So 10th, maybe 10th or +2, after that girl students are getting dropped out, and then they are getting married. I mean, their parents are getting them married even below the legal age in India, which is 18 years for females and 21 years for boys. So this needs to be seen. And then the larger issues like equal pay, like the domestic work that we all are doing, whether it is getting counted in the GDP and all those things, which is again an area of research. So definitely you will go into it. But as of now, I am worried about the girls who are not even born yet, and the girls who are born are getting equal opportunities like their brothers or like their male counterparts. So there goes our gender equality. Peace, justice and strong institutions, of course, when all these goals are interlinked, the moment we achieve one, even without us knowing, we may achieve some percentage of many other goals. So all those things are kind of intertwined among themselves. So definitely that is going to help us. Partnerships for all the goals, and this particular workshop itself is a great example of how partnership can actually trigger a subject, and then we get some research done on that, and then those research inputs come to us again for the course corrections. So this is a very diverse kind of gathering in which we have academicians, we have professors, we have the actual field implementers like DOs, RIs, development officials, BDOs. So all these people coming together definitely is going to kind of reflect in the policies, the implementation of the policies, and ultimately the outcomes. So I wish you all the very best. In the workshop, free நம்ம வந்து ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் ஆர்டரோட ஜியோட போயிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடியது ஒரு மென்டாலிட்டியில ஜெனரலி கவர்மெண்ட் அஃபிஷியல்ஸ் நம்ம இருக்கோம். ஆனால் இந்த ஒர்க் ஷாப் வந்து ஃப்ரீயா நீங்க வந்து ஒருத்தருக்கு வந்து லேண்ட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா எப்படி அவங்களோட ஃபுட் செக்யூரிட்டி ஆகும், அந்த மாதிரி எதை உங்களோட இன்புட்ஸ் இருக்கிறதோ ஃப்ரீயா வந்து நீங்க ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து நீங்க புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. ஸோ தட் வி கெட் த maximum outcome from this particular workshop. So I wish you all the very best, and I congratulate the entire team from the University of Hertfordshire to have arranged this kind of workshop in Salem district, and for giving us the privilege to host all of you. Thank you.